In this video, we're going to look at these things here. They're called design, or I call them header banners. They're cool because you can insert them into this kind of like flowing doc, this like little mini world where you get to go back and kind of design all the things that, use all the design tools that you know from say earlier in the course, okay, and put things, logos and fonts and brand colors all to work in this like little micro world, okay, and then throw them into a document, make them reusable. It's the best of both worlds. Document stuff for long documents with styles and all sorts of word processing stuff, but also we can throw in some good design bits, okay, through this thing called design, aka header banner. Let's jump in. All right, so we're going to replace it up the top here. So we're just going to delete that. And we're looking for the plus again, or remember you can use the quick actions, okay, which is the / key and type in design, okay? And either way, it leads to this. And you're like, what is this? This is like a mini Canva inside of Canva. Can you kind of see? Appeared on its own. It's like a little design that we can embed inside of a doc. So we kind of get a best of both worlds. We get that kind of like interface where we're working with Instagram earlier, where we have all this kind of extra stuff over here. We're not confined by, some of the limitations where we've got things like, it has to be in the flow of text. Text can be anywhere. The other cool thing is that we can use templates. Okay, so I'm going to say, let's find one. I'll click on this one. We like this one here, awesome. And for the people who have got the pro account, you can go back and say, look, I've got styles and I've got my own styles, my brand kit styles, boom. I got brand fonts, boom. Look at us. I do like this part of the course where we start kind of like using stuff and then clicking a few buttons and being awesome. This is the real power of Canva when you start kind of having a few resources around, even if you don't have brand kits, like knowing how things work. It's not hard to change the colors and fonts, but it is handy. All right, so we've got this in here. I'm going to change that to that. We can just, I'm gonna adjust this to suit our needs now. I'm gonna ungroup it. I'm going to grab this part and delete it. We know how to ungroup stuff. That's kind of cool, but I don't know what's there for. This thing here, oh, this would be cool to be the logo. So let's ungroup that. Let's grab this. There's a little hole there on the image. I'm going to delete that and I'm going to say, all right, I've got elements. Actually, I've got brands and I've got a logo that's in a circle. Oh, which one? That one? That one? Boop. Undo that one. I want this one. Good. And I'm going to fit that in there. Oh, it actually replaced my image. That's not what I want. So sometimes that'll happen. And what I tend to do is try and be deliberate and kind of get it next to the image, but not over it. Okay. And then I use my arrow keys. By dragging it, it kind of like tries to be helpful. So I've got it the right size. And now I'm using my arrow key. And if you hold shift and use your down arrow and left arrow, right arrow. Okay, so you select it first and then just use your arrow keys to move it around. Holding shift makes it jump a little bit. Okay, now it's not trying to do stuff and connect up. Okay, I'm just adjusting the size. That looks cool. Let's pick one of our images. So replacing images, we did that ages ago. I'm gonna go to my uploads. Okay, I'm gonna scroll down and be messing with all sorts of stuff. We could do a search. I'm gonna go down and find one of the AI things that I was working on. There we are. I'm going to grab, ooh, that one's cool. Okay, just dump it on the page or drag it out. And then you're just trying to drag it to do what we did with that logo and just kind of switch that out. Same thing with the colors. We can manually go in and change them because there's a gradient already built in. What I can do though is go back to here, go to design, go to styles. And even if it's not my own brand colors, you could go through combinations, okay, color palettes. But I've got my primary colors and I'm just going to smash away at this to get kind of, something that I like. Basically where I started. This, I want to use my off-white. So I'm going to go up to here and go to my brand colors. I think they're already my brand color. Excellent. Font size, select it all. I'm going to hold my command and shift key down. I'm looking at my period and comma, okay, or greater than and less than. On a PC, it's control shift and use the greater than or less than, or on my keyboard, it's down with my full stop, period, comma keys, those two. Okay, so that's looking good. And that is going to be what I'm going to do. Let's hit save. Okay, and basically just throws it in like a little document. Okay, I can't adjust the text here. I can't say, oh, let's get in there. Okay, you've got to double click it to open it and then go in and do it. And I've realized my font is not big enough because it's bigger here, but it's getting shrunk down on my page. So I'm going to hold down those keys again and hold them. And there's going to be a lot of toing and froing to kind of go, all right, is that better? Save, back in. That's better. The other thing is that it's quite determined by the margins. Okay, you can right click it and say expand it to full width to kind of go across. Now, they're kind of referred to as designs. documents. I call them header banners. You'll note from the title of this, there's not a really specific name for them. You can start with a blank one. We jump to a template, but you could literally go in here and say, all right, I want another one. I want it to be designed, and just start designing your own one like you do for everything. Don't need a template, go away, because I'm boss. I know what I want, and you can design it. There you go. All right, I feel like that design is the niceness of this, somebody else designed it, is kind of maybe dragging this. You notice I add some colors and stuff to it. It's still pretty bad. It's all right. A table should be really plain, but I'm trying to make it all designery. Anyway, that is the design, okay? Little mini designs inside of documents that give you that kind of flexibility of moving stuff wherever you like, whereas this, in this text flow, we know from like Word docs or Google Docs, is that there's kind of like this flow. Everything kind of flows after each other, and it's quite tricky to get things into the right place. All right, my friend, that is it. I will see you in the next video.